Well, we are off to a flying start. I don't know why I'm finding it so funny. I think inevitable things are happening and they do kind of make you laugh when the couples get a bit immature. But anyway, guys, welcome to this commentary, I suppose you could call it, on Married at First Sight UK Season 9, Episode 28. And this is the homestays, where the couples go back to stay at their family homes. We begin with Lacey taking Nathan to her home in Cheshunt. And of course, just like last time, the door opens and the girls just scream. I don't actually know what they say, but they just scream. And then Lacey's dog wheezes on her bag. So it's off to a great start. But what's interesting is how the mum has kind of forgiven Nathan now, Lacey's mum, and is being rather complimentary towards him. So quite a turn from the way she was last time when it was an absolute dumpster fire.
Oh, Lacey, the dog's just weed on your suitcase.
That's naughty!
Then we have Adam in Nottingham showing Polly his home, which looks like, I mean, I'm sorry. Listen, I respect the guy for owning his home. Well done you. You're not particularly old and you own your own home. So, you know, you're well done. But it looks to me like a home, like a show kind of home that you'd see in maybe the Home Base or B&Q catalogue. Everything's white, bright white. All the photo frames are just like the ones you buy in the shop. It's just, for me, I mean, if ever a place needed a woman's touch, that's it. But he's very anal about it. He doesn't want Polly there. He's still angry with Polly, not going to share a bed with her, blah, blah, blah. So clearly still stewing over what has been going on between them in the last few days, and with him accusing her of being selfish.
Yeah, but I feel like with how Adam is, it's kind of brought it down a little bit. It's been made clear that there's no space for me anywhere, in any room, in any wardrobe. So, yeah, it's not been a nice warm welcome.
I have a really good night's sleep from here, especially when I'm alone.
Not anymore.
Ooh, we'll see. Probably haven't gave Polly the best welcome in, but I think it's down to how I'm feeling. There's a lot for her to work on. I am a little bit worried that me and Polly are going to get under each other's feet a little bit.
Then, Ross and Sacha go to Ross's home and he gets to be reunited with his daughter Blue. And it's very sweet. You see them hugging, kissing, you know. Obviously, she's thrilled to see her dad. But Sacha also gets emotional. And Sacha says, I've got to think now about me and about what I'm going to do and how life's going to change now I've got Ross and the light of his life and in our life. And I am wondering whether what Sacha is really saying here is, Blue is going to be top dog. Am I prepared to be in a relationship with someone where I am not top dog? Because I think she's seeing the bond between Ross and his daughter and thinking, I can't get above that bond, so I'm going to have to take a subservient position to it. Can I do that? Of course, she doesn't actually say that, but I reckon that's what she's thinking.
To interact with his daughter and seeing the love between them is just like so cute. Because of how my connection is with my dad, I can completely relate to Ross's relationship with his daughter. He adores Blue and I can see how happy he is.
Blue, what's your nano cat card?
Hello!
No, the maiden is still broke because I'm not seen it for a long time. It made me realise it might not work being far from it. Do you like Stasha?
Yeah!
Do you?
Good!
Do you like her?
I've got a lot more to think about now because I need to think about myself and my support network in Warsaw and what I need, but I also need to consider Ross and the little life in his life.
Can Stasha stay?
Yeah.
Yeah, come and share.
Then back to Polly and Adam, guys, and their long-suffering friend of Adam's, Richard, who was his best man, has come over to see how things are going, and it just turns into a massive row. For some reason, they have to bring up Polly talking to Stephen, twisting and saying she'd go with Stephen because he's more emotionally available, blah, blah, blah. That causes a massive row. The row escalates, and you've got Richard just sitting there, looking around, looking like he's really, really, really uncomfortable whilst watching his best friend row with his new wife. And I just feel for the guy because it just gets worse and worse. And they're already talking about, oh, it's going to end. Polly says this could be the limit. And you know what? If it is a limit, fine. I don't think anyone will mind if Polly and Adam call it a day.
Yeah. As fuck.
The fact you're saying a guy came in, is emotionally available, and I said I would twist to him because he's got emotion available that I want, and then now Adam's trying to be like him because that's what you basically said.
You take that how you will. That's not what I meant to say.
This way you're wording it makes it sound really bad.
Right, okay, I've worded it wrong, but that's not what I meant behind it. I've been honest and said what's been the problem.
You didn't have to say why we argued. You could just have been argued. Yeah, be honest and say that you're not talking about
someone. So don't say to me, be honest, if you don't want me to talk to someone about stuff. This is what keeps happening.
You can be honest, yeah, but don't say the wrong story.
You can be honest, but just don't speak, is pretty much what you're saying.
Okay.
You don't make any sense. Don't say to me, be honest, and then get shitty with me when I've told him what's happened for us to be in the position that we're in.
Mate, 100% as an outsider, I've not seen her just mug you off at all.
Word it right then, don't try and make me look like a dick, because I don't want to look like a dick.
How have I made you look like a dick when he's just said
all I'm saying is that
I haven't tried to mug you off? How have I made you look like a dick?
All I'm saying is when that situation happened, you're lucky if I gave you the time of day after that, 'cause that was muggy as fuck.
How is it muggy? What is wrong with you?
You brought it up.
What is actually wrong with you?
I didn't speak to you for 2 days.
Because I didn't put in there that you didn't speak for me for 2 days and I had to give you space.
You're lucky I carried on this marriage after you did that, simple as that.
What do you want me to say? Thank you. I said that I fucked up and that I was sorry.
So
what else do you want me to do? Say to Rick, do you want me to go back and redo this conversation?
You snapped your fingers and wanted something and you got it from me, because that's bullshit.
I really don't understand how he's sitting there with the audacity to say that I don't own things when all I've done throughout this whole thing is put my hands up to things and say I've fucked up. No matter what I say, it's always going to be wrong.
Mate, I feel like you've gone a little bit off the hook there.
It does make me feel embarrassed. I'm really shocked Polly's going into detail about the retreat. This was not how I expected the first night of homestays to go. It's been a bit of a shit show.
There's only so much that I feel like I can take, and I feel like I've really reached my fucking limit.
I gotta be honest, I find Lacey's family a little bit weird. You know, Nathan and Lacey start the day in a bed together, then they're joined by Lacey's mum, Lacey's sister, and the dog, all in bed together. I wouldn't like that.
Oh, we missed Ozzy. Where was you, Ozzy?
Don't get involved.
Come on, little one. Did you sleep well?
Yeah.
Don't want you to go.
No, we don't want you to go, guys. Lovely.
Kidnap you.
Here.
Kidnap you, don't you?
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I don't know many people that would. I just find that strange. Why would you all... Then, right, it gets a bit weirder. Lacey's mum gives Nathan DIY jobs to do around the house. And while he's doing some painting for her, she kind of starts to grope him. You know, feels his shoulders, tickles him a little bit. And I'm sorry, I just think that's not on. That's just... I mean, how is he supposed to respond to that? What's he supposed to say to his mother-in-law? You know what I mean? And if you flip it the other way, and if you say, if Nathan was a girl, right, and that was an older man, you know, touching her shoulders, tickling her tummy, I think we'd be saying very different things here. So I thought that was really inappropriate.
There's a few scuffs here.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah, no problem.
I've got a few DIY things for him to do, keep him busy while he's here earning his keep. So hopefully he's up to the job. Have a little look. Oh, yeah, it looks really nice. You've missed a little bit here though.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that bit there. Oh, very good though, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well done. So talented. I'm sorry, Dana.
Mom, stop flirting with my man.
Lacey is extremely lucky, honestly. If she don't want him, I'll have him. If only he was 20 years older, I'd snap him up. She would.
And all Lacey says is, oh, Mum, stop flirting with my man. She's doing a lot more than flirting. when you're flirting with someone, you don't touch them physically. And if you do, you're probably going to end up in jail at some point soon. So I found that very strange. Then we have Sacha and Ross and this big problem that Sacha's admitted now that she doesn't want to leave home. Ross lives in Walsall, she lives in Manchester. And clearly, if you're going to get married, you're going to have to leave home. I don't see how it's going to work. You can't stay at home. Maybe she means home as in Manchester where she lives, or maybe she means home literally, the home with her parents. I don't know with Sacha. But there has to be give and take in marriage. You can't just say, well, no, I'm not going to prepare to leave home, therefore this is not going to work, because it's looking like that's the way it's going. And I kind of thought, didn't you think about this before you got married? All of us, when we get married, we have to do things we don't necessarily want to do. It's dangerous sometimes because you have to take that leap of faith and you have to live together somewhere that isn't your family home, preferably, and get on with your marriage. And I feel like, in many ways, she has to accept the fact that he has a daughter. She doesn't have kids yet. So it makes more sense for him to be closer to his child so his child can see him and he can raise his child and give her a good upbringing. I feel like that's a no-brainer.
Definitely a sensitive subject, speaking about where me and Ross are going to move. There's still a lot to think about and a lot to decide on. We're so close to the end of the experiment now, and I just hope it doesn't get in the way of our relationship.
But we all know that relationship has ended now anyway, so maybe this is one of the big reasons why. Then, of course, back to Polly and Adam, and that infamous best friend Alfie has come round to talk to them about things, and of course has to talk to them about intimacy, as you do with all your friends. And yeah, Polly's on damage control mode. Basically, she sits there, Alfie, Polly, Adam. Adam barely says a word, guys. He barely says a sentence. Then he disappears. He leaves the room to unpack his bag. And Alfie and Polly can have a heart-to-heart without Adam there. And she kind of tells him lots of different stuff. And she does defend Adam. But Alfie's not happy. Alfie says he's not giving enough. All right? So Adam needs to do what Alfie says. Now, I'm being facetious, of course, but I think Polly still really likes Adam. And I don't think what Alfie says is going to change that, even if we would agree with Alfie. Which I don't, to be quite honest. I think Adam has made changes. He has done stuff. And he does deserve credit for that.
Still have a lot of reservations. I do.
Why?
I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm not saying that at all.
He has made a huge shift with how he was in the first week to where he is now.
What you've just said to me is that I had a man who gave me absolutely nothing, but now he's giving me something. How long do you accept the bare minimum for? That's my reservation and that's my worry.
What Alfie's saying is stuff that I already know and have already thought about. However, I'm definitely trying to focus on the good at the moment, considering me and Adam have just got over another argument. I will give credit and have to give credit where credit is due, because I am so proud of him for being so much more emotionally vulnerable with me to speak to me about the stuff that we talk about at home, in bed, behind closed doors. He is now giving me more and more and more because he's seen me drop. He's seen my expectations of him lower, which is what I feel like he needs to then meet in the middle and then go up.
Obviously there is a want for it to work, otherwise he wouldn't keep staying, and you wouldn't. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's right for you or even that you're right for him. Polly has a habit of giving more in a relationship, and as her best friend, I've seen her accept the bare minimum multiple times before. There is a big part of me that worries that, is he giving her exactly what she needs?
Polly and Adam go on some play date thing with Polly's sister and the nieces and nephews, and it's just as boring as I'm making it sound, sorry. Back to Ross and Sacha, where they're meeting more of Ross's family in Manchester. I got it wrong earlier, guys. Ross is Manchester, Sacha is Birmingham. So, he's talking to his family, his sister specifically, about the fact that Sacha doesn't want to move to Manchester, and her sister brings up the points I brought up earlier. So that's the problem they're facing now. So it's whether Sacha's willing to move to Manchester to be with them, or will sacrifice the marriage for the sake of staying with her family in Birmingham. And for me, there's no real contest here. I think, where his child is, he has to be. That makes perfect sense to me. And, she can always see her family during the week and at weekends. I don't think it's a really big issue. You get in the car, you drive to see your family. Well, we all do it. So I think it shouldn't be one that's so make or break. It's like, well, you kind of get on with it and you find a way. But it seems to be causing quite a rut in the road.
No way.
I'm not going to promise anything because obviously I got below as well.
I know.
I'm not rushing into this.
If you want to do that, you do that. It doesn't make sense with Blue, though.
It had.
Hearing that Sacha might not want to come to Manchester obviously makes me worry that Ross might move to Birmingham. I wouldn't want that. None of his family members would want that. Obviously, Blue's here. Manchester is where his daughter is. So it is a bit concerning.
The moving situation is on my mind. Obviously, I got a daughter. I'm a family star. It's a lot of big things to me as well because I'm very close to them. Obviously, Blue's my number one, and Sacha's my wife. So going forward, the decision, obviously, it's got a lot of thinking to do. And it's hard.
Well, at the end of this episode, we have 2 successful homestays. Nathan and Lacey's ends well, with a lovely sweet moment round the dinner table where they all talk about ADHD. And I find it amazing that now Lacey's mum has decided to understand ADHD. Not like when she first came over to their flat and it was awful. And I don't understand this because, of course, Paige, Lacey's sister, has ADHD. So Lacey's mum would know all about ADHD, but for some reason when that meeting happened ages ago, she didn't seem to acknowledge his ADHD, but it's quite clearly on display here that he's neurodivergent. But anyway, ends well, everyone's happy, everyone loves each other, good for them. And listen, I do like Lacey and Nathan. I just think recently Lacey's been a bit overzealous, but I do like them, and I particularly like Nathan. He seems like a very nice man.
It's interesting that Lacey's sister's Paige can relate to a lot of them. Lacey can get in her head sometimes. She doesn't need to. She's an amazing person, and I feel like tonight could have helped her understand me a bit better.
You're trying though. Yeah. That's all you can do. You're trying. And at the end of the day, it is really difficult having ADHD and understanding like yourself. Sometimes I'm like, I question myself in my head because there's so many things that I'll be thinking of like 100 times a day, and it's difficult to process when you're like, okay, I have to get out of my head as well because I'm actually in my head again.
What you've got to understand, Lace, right? You're overthinking everything about him. Enjoy your time together. I can tell that this guy really likes you. By his body language, the way he touches you, the way he looks at you, the way that when you just cried then, he was straight away attentive. So you need to put that out of your head. I've got every faith in you two, and I so want it to work, and I think you're great for each other, and I think you'll be able to learn from each other, and you've got your sister-in-law, Paige.
Guys, no, I believe in you both so much that it can work, it will work.
Yes.
I genuinely do care about Nathan so much, more than he probably realises, and I definitely feel like tonight has brought me and Nathan closer. I feel like it's really helped me to understand him. It's just nice seeing Nathan with my family. It just brings me joy because my family mean the world.
To Nathan and Lacey.
Woo!
And it ends well for Polly and Adam, with Adam saying he saw a different side to Polly and telling Polly he liked this side of her. No effing and blinding, she was nice. And so Polly says, yeah, I need to take that into our relationship. So basically what Adam's saying to Polly is, Polly, when you don't actually act like yourself, you're really nice. I'm joking, of course, but basically he is kind of saying that the Polly you normally show is not the Polly that I want to see. Anyway, listen, if it works for them, great. So there we go.
Completely different Polly, to be honest, and I've actually enjoyed myself.
I feel like I need to bring that back to the apartments. But that's obviously something for me to work on. But
Have to wait and see.
I fact that Adam said that he's seen a difference in me since being on my homestays has been the biggest compliment that he's given me to date. So yeah, it's really, really good. I feel like we're in a good place again.
Homestays continue in the next episode, which I think is now not till Monday, which looks like it gets more heated. But Polly and Adam, Lacey and Nathan had good homestays, so I guess their relationships will carry on through to what's almost, I think, the final week. What did you make of today's episode, guys? Did you enjoy it? Was it fun? Did you find it amusing? What did you think of the family and the homestays and the interaction? Let's talk below as always. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time for another episode of Married at First Sight. They should do a special best of bits. Just Married at First Sight dumpster fire moments. Because there's been plenty this season. It looks like Luke and Amy from the trailers for the next episode are heading straight for the dumpster fire department. Anyway, guys, I gotta go. Have a lovely evening. Catch you soon. Goodbye.